Hello there, my peeps. Welcome back to Embers, the video podcast that actually makes you think and teaches you something. Now, today we are diving deep into the world of social anxiety, and we uncover how negative thoughts can fuel this common struggle. If you have ever felt overwhelmed in social situations or found yourself battling intrusive thoughts, then this video is definitely for you. In this video, we're going to be exploring the connection between negative thinking and social anxiety. I'm going to give you a practical strategy to combat these unhelpful thoughts. And I'm also going to give you a few tips to boost your confidence in social settings. Join me, your host, Dr. Ember, here on Ember's Video Podcast as we break down the psychological patterns that contribute to social anxiety and provide you with actionable steps to reclaim your peace of mind. Together, we can transform those pesky negative thoughts into positive affirmations. Grab your pen, grab your paper, and grab your favorite potion, whether it's coffee, tea, water, or juice. Let's dive on in. See you on the other side. Did you know that many people suffer from something called social anxiety? This is the feeling of being out of control and nervous, and even afraid of being in social situations. There are different levels of anxiety, and some people are so anxious that they cannot force themselves to get into a social situation in public without being medicated, and even then, they find it awkward and difficult. Some people even have full-blown panic attacks. My name is Dr. Ember. Thank you for joining us here on Ember's Video Podcast. You can find out more about me in my bio in the description. And I will let you know that I do suffer from social anxiety. Now, I also have a PhD in psychology with an emphasis on cognitive behavioral therapy as well as dialectal therapy. I bring this up today because when you are actually working with social anxiety and things to help combat it, it's very helpful to have a thorough understanding of this. Now, I work with people actually who want to get their businesses going, maybe are a bit introverted. But social anxiety is something that really affects all of us everywhere. Now, I do have another video out already in regards to social anxiety and a breathing technique that you can do anytime, anywhere. Please feel free to check that video out. And I'm going to let you know that I have had my share of issues with social anxiety. And I will be putting out more videos on anxiety and how to deal with it because I feel that it is something that needs to be discussed more, especially with ways that you can do to maintain your balance without taking drugs. Now, several social situations can trigger negative thoughts, and they can swirl around you and around in your head. I get that a lot, okay? What happens is this makes you more and more anxious about the social situation that you're either in or maybe coming up. You might even completely talk yourself out of attending. Now, I don't talk myself out of attending, but the closer it gets to going and the more people that are there, the less likely it is that I will attend, unless somebody quite literally drags me. I mean, it's not like, you're grabbing me by the hair and dragging me to a social event. It is not that bad. But somebody has to show up and, come on, let's go. That type of thing. So I get this. Now, here's the thing. Mine got so bad, it led to an even worse problem. And eventually it led to agoraphobia. Yeah, no, it's agoraphobia, which is you don't want to go outside. It's not safe. And in this case, the fear of social situations becomes so pronounced you can't leave the house, which is what happened in my case. And I've seen this happen to others in the support group that I was in for a while because they don't understand what the triggers were. Now, negative thought triggers are all over the place. And here's just a general list of ones that most people can suffer from if they have social anxiety. How about meeting new people or potential criticism? Those of us who are more inverted, like myself, being the center of attention doesn't really thrill you either. How about other people observing you or even speaking in public? Now, for me, group interactions, as small groups, they're fine. Large groups, I can't do. But group interactions are definitely a trigger for a lot of people. Now, I'm also going to say here that meeting authority figures tends to trigger a lot of people because it's that whole thing of meeting someone in charge, someone who has control over what happens in your life, supposedly. A lot of people are triggered because they don't know what to say at any given moment, or they're unsure about what to wear or how they look. Some people are even triggered by looking into other people's eyes. But when you're having a conversation with someone and they yawn and you could get triggered, or talking to someone can trigger you, or walking past a group of people can trigger you. And if you're already triggered, even talking on the phone to a close ally may make it even worse. Now, I realize this seems like it might be over the top if you don't suffer from social anxiety yourself. But honestly, guys, this list can go on and on and on and on if you do. People with social anxiety start going over potential scenarios in their head the moment they realize they're going to have a social situation. And someone who is inverted, who doesn't quite know how to get their thoughts across and is more comfortable with themselves, this is terrifying. And what ends up happening is whether they hit that event or not, it's already turned the situation into a negative event. Every situation can turn into a negative event at that point, which just compounds your anxiety. It compounds your fear. It compounds the fact that you're not comfortable in this situation. So let's actually talk about how thoughts turn into social anxiety. You see, when we meet a new person, a lot of people have a fear of even messing up the person's name, or forgetting their own name, or having bad breath, or other obtrusive body odor. They imagine saying something wrong and being the butt of a joke or subject to criticism due to being wrong. And that usually stems from a lot of experiences in their life where that's happened, usually when they were younger. Now, people feel nervous, even getting an award because people are looking at them and making them the center of attention. They start thinking that they did not deserve this award at all, and that they're a fraud and shouldn't go collect it or accept the award after all, because they're struck with imposter syndrome due to social anxiety and fear. Guys, it just goes downhill from there. Because when you get into this mindset, if you suffer from any form of social anxiety or any type of anxiety, you can't stop spinning every possible scenario into a bad thing, okay? and it feels like your heart's just going to beat out of your chest and you can't breathe right. And it could even lead to a full-fledged panic attack. Due to this, a lot of people end up bringing part of what they thought true, and it becomes a bad situation for them. They become the center of attention due to a panic attack, and then being judged as weird or a drama queen because they can't handle the situation. When in reality, this is a severe mental issue. Now, I'm not going to say it's a disease, okay? Because a disease to means simply you're not comfortable with where you are, dis-ease. So, I will say this is a mental issue because your negative thoughts are fueling your social anxiety. It's fueling your fear on something that hasn't even happened yet. And trust me, I get it. I go through this every time I leave the house, especially now that I've wound up in a different dimension and I've had to start all over again. I'm afraid that every time I step through a gate, I'm going to end up in a place I can't get back from, that I know no one. And I'll have to start all over again. Maybe I'll survive this time. Maybe I won't. That's the power of trauma in negative thinking. Because even though I know I'm going through commercially available stargates and much like commercially available airline flights, there is no reason to fear. But yet I am still afraid sometimes. So as you can see, thoughts have a lot of power, even though they're just thoughts and not even reality. When you start to realize how persuasive negative thoughts can be, because it can cause social anxiety, fear, and make it much, much worse than it normally would be, you can also realize how tuning your thoughts around to positive thoughts can make your social anxiety less. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you can do when you start spiraling in these negative thoughts. Find something that you can be grateful for, something that you can turn into a positive, okay? The minute you notice that you are obsessing about any future event, it's time to get out of your own head and do something completely different, okay? I've got a friend, every time she starts having a panic attack or a social anxiety attack, quite literally, she will go watch a cat video. She likes watching cats do funny things or just being cats. I think it just kind of depends on the day. But she'll go watch a cat video because that brings her joy. And it's doing something completely different. It's focusing on something completely different. My friend and myself and many others have learned that by practicing deep breathing, which I actually go through in another video here in regards to, I think it's called a technique to curb anxiety. But this deep breathing practice has a lot of positive feedback. Now look, if your stress is because you're not sure what to wear, find someone to help you pick something out. We all got friends. And if you don't have any friends, then go to something like Stitchable, which has them custom pick outfits for you. I mean, you put on an outfit that they pick on for you, you rent it, you send it back, okay? It even comes with accessories. I don't think it comes with shoes, but whatever. Now, me, I have my own wardrobe. I don't need something like that. But I know a lot of people who do, okay? So if you're worried about bad breath, take some mints with you. Pop some sugar-free mints at all times. If you're scared you will say someone's name wrong, practice the names if you know who will be going. Try saying them. Looking at their picture. Hello, so-and-so. And it's okay. You can always say, "Forgive me if I say your name wrong. I'm trying to learn how to pronounce it correctly." There are always ways in which you can turn all negatives into positives. But the most important thing is to realize that no one is perfect. And due to that, no one expects you to be perfect either. Most people have some of the same worries that you do. They just don't take it to that next level and unfortunately freak out. Guys, if you found this video about social anxiety helpful, share it with someone else who may possibly be suffering like you are. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss anything from the cauldron. We've got messages from Spirit. We've got tips to have a magical life like this one. We've also got small business success tips. And we've got videos where we just dive deep into a subject, like holidays or different moons or spirit animals or tarot cards. Whatever it is, I promise you're going to learn something here on Ember's Video Podcast. Until next time, my peeps, love and light, peace and progress. I'm out.